Welcome. Today I want to give an update on my 7th grader, talk a little bit about middle school, going into high school, and I'm going to be showing you the curriculum and where we are at on things. We are on about week 13 and it is November 2024. I will be sharing things that he will be finishing up at the end of the semester and some things that we've changed up a little bit. So stay tuned. Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom. I have 4 boys. I have graduated to, and this school year, our 17th year of homeschooling, I have another senior and I also have a 7th grader. And that is what my update is going to be about, is my 7th grader. And doing this update, I was really thinking about talking about just getting that middle schooler into independence and ready for high school. But I think I'm going to save that for another video because I feel like I have a lot to say in the video. Is just getting way too long. So I'm going to jump into the curriculum. I probably will mention things here and there. Let me know if you have one in middle school or maybe even in high school. And I know it looks different for each child, so just keep that in mind. But I do want to tell you that we are an eclectic family. We use a variety of curriculum and we do have a Christian worldview. And you'll see that in our curriculum also. So this school year, I have used check off lists for him, but it's the first year I've used like a calendar planner, and that is actually going really well for him. I just bought something at Walmart and I just try to fill it in weekly. So I'm going to be looking at this planner and just go in the order of maybe his day. So that'll also give you a little bit of an idea of how things go for our family. Okay, the first thing he does start off with is his Bible. And this year he's doing that pretty independently, and it's Bible Truths from BJU. This is an older book. It is the A. Yes, I think it's called Level A, and it is the Life of Christ. And this has been going really well. I really do like it. It sort of, let me show you, just gives you sort of an introduction. And then for the lessons, they'll have some scripture that you need to read, and then they'll talk about something with application. And he's just been doing this independently. I just sort of schedule it out. And each section is definitely more than a week. Sometimes it could be a week and a half, 2 weeks. Sometimes it could be shorter. So we just schedule out how much he needs to read that day. And that he does that really well. And this is one of the things he's going to be done with in December. And I wasn't expecting that. So that is something I have to decide. They do have a level B, which is, I think, Old Testament truths. So I may look at that. I do have both of these on the shelves because I will tell you that one of my other boys did this in middle school. So I need to look at that and see, well, should I save it for next school year and just pick something different, like more of a devotional thing? I'm not sure yet, but I'll be sharing like an update of the second semester probably in January. So that is Bible. Now, a change for us, and I did talk about this in my last update video, but it was like just happened, and that was with our math. We are a Math UC family, but this particular one struggles a little bit. I did mention this last week on my Instagram, and we are very excited how this is going, and it is Learn Math Fast. Now, it really starts out very basic, so I just was not sure what to think. But they have, I think, like 8 volumes, 7 or 8 volumes. I also want to mention, they did send this to me to try, and I'll leave you a code below. But it really has been going well. And what I mentioned on Instagram was that he really struggled with just remembering anything, like concepts, just multiplication, addition. And now I feel like he is enjoying that he can just snap off, all his multiplication tables and just adding things in his head. And I am so thankful. But I did ask him, I said, now, is this because you think you're older and maybe it's clicking? And he said, no, I really think it's the curriculum because I'm reading it. So I'm sort of listening to him thinking, And he said, because he does enjoy books about military, and he'll come and tell me all the numbers of whether it be about equipment or planes or dates. he just remembers it all. And he said, I think it's because I'm reading it and I'm not watching a video. He said, but I do think she does a great job of explaining it. So this is book 1, and he will be done with this one in December with no problem at all. And then there's a book 2 that, and from what I understand, that should put him in pre-algebra in 8th grade. So, but I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted. So this is book 2. I think it's percentages and fractions. Now, I am going to talk about this. I'm going to do like an open book, somewhat of a review video. I need to do that because some things that I have not talked about on here I think would be helpful if you are thinking about starting this earlier, because they do have more of a workbook, and he's not used this. He actually does a lesson a day. And I think with this workbook, you would do a lesson a week. So you could take it much slower than he is, but he's old enough where this is just review, but the review is just helping him so much remember everything. So I'm just so grateful. I'm thankful, and I know he's actually sort of enjoying it. So yay for that. The next thing is his language arts, and for that we are using Language Lessons for a Living from Master Books. And I did mention that this is a 5-day-a-week program, and we don't always get to everything 5 days a week. A core of his curriculum, which I'll show you in a minute, is a 4-day-a-week program. So my goal is for the 5th day, if we have time, he will of course do his Bible and his math and possibly language arts. And I'll mention something else he does on Friday here in a little bit that we changed up. So saying that we are on, I think, week 13, he's only on lesson 9. Now, I will tell you, we actually had a week off of school, and really this week, he's not feeling 100%. So we did some of this, but he could have done a lot more normally. And even with his writing, I just discussed it with him and let him tell it to me orally, because I just knew he didn't feel good. But he didn't feel like the worst. Like, he still could think and do school. It's just, that's how it went this week with that. So, but it is going good, and he doesn't seem to mind it. And I feel like for the grammar part, I know some people have asked about the grammar, that it's really a lot of review. And I feel like that is fine for him this school year. He's had a lot of grammar in the past couple of years. Even though we start grammar like 4th, 5th grade, he does really well with that. So, and the writing in here has been good for him too. He also does written narration for his history, which I will show you that next. We use a Charlotte Mason style curriculum. This does have a Christian worldview, very Christ-centered, and this is Revival to Revolution. This is a new guide. I have done a look through with this guide. We've been using this curriculum for the last several years, so you can check out my other videos if you're really interested in it. So with that, there will be some spines and living books. There's also notebook. There's also extras, which I'm going to share with you. Inside this book, it's really laid out with a schedule. So yes, I will write where it says in here, read about history. So he will have to open up the book and look at what it says to do. Or geography, he will look it up and see what it says to do for each of those things. So that's helpful too. So I don't write, because it's a pretty long list of things, and sometimes it's just key ideas and things for them to think about. I don't write all that in there, just for him to look at the guide. But for his spines, we right now are almost finished with George Washington's World. Now, talking about independence, he could completely read this book on his own, but we sort of like, if there's a day, I'll read it. A lot of times he does this on his own. So we are probably like, I'm just guessing, but I feel like it's only about that much left of this book. So he's almost done with it. He'll be done with it before the end of this year in December. And then I'll just show you the next 2 spines. There may be another one, I'm not even 100% sure. The Story of Napoleon. So this is just a short book that he'll use as a spine. And then the Story of the Great Republic. So, and this is new to us, all of these books. So I'm very excited. So with that, that's his spine, going through the history of early America. And then there are some story time books, and that's also listed in the guide. And I want to share those with you. One, and usually I read that, and I say usually, sometimes I'll actually show you one he read. Let me show you that one, because I don't think I mentioned it in the last video. but I did mention it in the books he has read the last few months. I think I did that video somewhat recently. So it is John Paul Jones, The Pirate Patriot. So he did read this book. This was one of the story time books for Heart of Dakotas. And then I read this one with him because I knew like he would just pick this up and fly through. I don't even think he followed the schedule, but I was fine with that. And then they have the Reb and the Redcoats. This was something different. It was just different than what he would normally pick up. So I really enjoyed it. I said, I want to read this one with you. So it is really just about an English family, and they go to live with their uncle for a little while to help with their grandparents, their mom and the kids. Their uncle, who is in the military, has one of the Americans put under his watch. But there's a lot of, figuring out things, some mystery, why his uncle is the way he is now, and who this Reb really is. And really, it's very interesting. I enjoyed it. I think he did. But like I said, it's not a book he normally would read. But it was definitely something I highly recommend. I think any family would enjoy this as a family read aloud. So now, for the next book that he is supposed to read. So we have finished this one. The next time we get together, they start a new story time book. And I talked about this in my last video. With Heart of Dakota, they have an extension package. And that's so this guide is it goes more by ages, which is, let me double check myself, 11 to 13. So with extensions for older students. So he's 12, will be 13 before the end of the school year. So, and that is one of his subjects he's very good at, is just reading. He reads way beyond probably his age level. So the next book is Marie Home. So another book we traded out was more about a girl character. And I think it's just that middle school age. And it's really, I sort of looked through it and I knew it would just be too much for him. And I'm okay with that because in the guide, in the back of the book, they have the schedule for the extensions, and it is The Search of Honor, which I already had this book, so I was really excited that he would be reading it. They are both about the French Revolution. So let me tell you that. So that really worked out. And he actually will probably read this one on his own also. So this will be something he can do independent, and I will be fine with that during this busy season. And the book after that is Seaman, the Dog Who Explored the West with Lewis and Clark. And one of my other boys did read this book, so I think he'll really enjoy that one also. So that just gives you an idea. Now, because it is a Charlotte Mason style, they have like a state study. Let me show you that. And this is something they have scheduled throughout the guide, but I just feel like it's a lot right now, everything that he's doing. So what we're going to be doing the whole thing on Fridays, and he'll just pick a state. It may take us longer. It's probably going to take us at least 1.5 years of school. So maybe till next December to finish that, which is absolutely fine because we'll still be doing like modern American history next school year. So this is 50 States Under God, and it's really been great. Just learning facts about things you just would not know about in the front. I've actually done a video on this. It's very interesting actually. So it's just tidbits that I've never heard before or have not known. So he has done that, but I am not following the schedule in the guide, and I'm spreading that out a little bit longer. So I want to let you know that if you're interested in the Heart of Dakota guide. They also have a study, The Signers, and it's the story behind the Declaration of Independence. There's just really just a short, sometimes it's 2 pages, sometimes it's 3, and then it's about each state. So right now we're in all the signers that are from Pennsylvania. And let me show you the notebook pages for that. So he does have notebook pages, and these are actually supposed to be cut out into cards. I have mentioned this before. And then he can just do some bullet points on the back of the cards. But we just decided to keep them in a notebook. Another thing we are not like doing everything is in the guide. There's a lot of notebook work that we are not doing, and a lot of people may ask, is the notebook worth it? I'm up in the air about that because for me, yes, but if I had a lot of kids, it would be a cost, and I will tell you, I don't think it's worth it for the younger guides. The middle school guides, there is a lot of extra in there. Like they have what they call worthy words, which is like primary sources or original documents. And for every lesson, there is one in here. Sometimes it's a full page. I know he has some that have been a full page. So things like that. They do have a spot in here to write their written narration. And I will tell you, he does not enjoy writing in this notebook. So if you have one that really, really struggles, he doesn't struggle. So it's really not that big of a deal, but I have had some that really would have struggled to write in here. So that may be a thought. Or what I did is I would have them type it out, narrow enough to fit in there, and then print it off and let them glue it in. Just some thoughts there if you want the notebook pages, but you don't want them writing in it. He does keep up with the timeline. He reads that and draws the pictures, and you're supposed to fill that in and keep up with the timeline. But most of the other things, they give you little things to look at or fill in, and he might look through it, but I don't make him do all the extra writing that's in there. So I wanted to share that with you because if you're up in the air about the notebook pages, but the season I'm in, to me, they're worth it. But like I said, if you have a lot of kids in the higher grades, it would be costly. So I think you just have to weigh out. I know for us, we try to save up and just have like a budget for our curriculum. So, okay, one other thing is the science. I almost forgot about that. Now, he is doing the standard physical science. This is new to us, but I have been very interested in it. I have done just like an open box look at, so I don't have a full review on this yet. Exploration education, it's hands-on. He is putting things, this is just the student log. You read on the computer, they give you the experiments, which is like right now he's into electricity. He is working on a project for that. This has been good. They do have an advanced. I'm glad I just got the standard. It's only 3 days a week. And for us right now in this season, this is perfect for us. They do have an inventor study. They have notebook pages. I did not get those. But he is reading the books because he does like to read. Like he's a reader. Like you could skip this part and still be okay. But this is for American inventors. He's already read about one in here, and now he is reading about Eli Whitney. So that is his curriculum, but I do want to show you a few books that he has read, and I wanted to show you this one because it is American Famous Spy. So if you are doing American history, that he really enjoyed this book. They have them from early American all the way to probably to like World War II. So, and this is from Master Books. I did pick up one of these. They have several books about different people. So I think in history and science, I could be wrong, but he did enjoy this. Another book, and that was The Great Alaskan Dinosaur Adventure, and this was also from Master Books. And the reason I seen this book is because it's the first book they read a little section from in this language arts, and I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. So I went ahead and picked it up. He wasn't too sure about it, but he read it pretty quickly and really enjoyed it. And I give more of a review in my video that I did about the books that he read. Now, a couple that he's read since that video is The Boys Who Challenged Hitler. These are some books that I picked up used. This was probably only like 25 cents. And he loves World War II, and he really likes things about the Pacific part of it, but he is starting really to pick up and read a lot about this, and he can talk to you all about it. If you start talking to him, that's what he'll talk about. So some other books was The Christian Heroes Then and Now, which is Jim Elliot, and he also read Douglas MacArthur. I think it was his third time reading this. He really likes this one, but again, he does like World War II. I will tell you with this book, and that he tried to read it, I mean, it probably been a couple years ago, and he said he just had a hard time with it, but this time he read it pretty quickly, and he said it was really good. So I just want to give you that thought, because these books do say from 8 to 12, but I really do feel like a majority of them are more for like the middle school reads, just understanding them. I also want to mention that I am an affiliate with them, and I do have a coupon code below if you are interested for 10% off. So I will also link that below. But I think that is it for this 7th grader. And if you do have any questions or you would like to see something more specific, I do have videos on a lot of this stuff already. So I will link those below. But if you have a specific question, please tell me below and tell me how your year is going so far. I would love to hear from you. So I do appreciate you all watching. And if you are new here, please subscribe and join us. And if this video was helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again soon.